Welcome back to season 2 of the Courtside podcast. I'm your host, Kean Lee. In this week's episode, we dive into all the primetime games from week number 8, discuss about the Dennis Schroeder trade to the Golden State Warriors, and why I don't think, despite them winning the NBA in-season cup, the Bucks are not a contender in the Eastern Conference. That's all coming here right now on the Courtside podcast. All right, peeking at the NBA in-season cup finale, we got the Bucks and the Thunder. And honestly, my biggest takeaway from this game, even though I watched a little recap of it like this past weekend, was just that Milwaukee needed this. I mean, Giannis went ham. He had 26 points on 19 rebounds and 10 assists. Dame had 23 points. He actually shot the ball really well, which is nuts. Brook Lopez was solid. He had 13 points, and their bench was led by Gary Trent Jr. with 13 points. Speaking at the Thunder, I mean, what can you say about the Thunder? Like, SGA had 21 points. Jalen Williams had 18 points. Isaiah Hartenstein had 16 points, and their bench was just non-existent. Does that say they're playing them 3 times this year? What the hell? Oh wait, no, that's the regular season matchup. Sorry. I thought it was like they were playing each other again. My mistake. But anyway, peeking at the next game, we got what was the next game? Oh yeah, now that I remember. We got the Thunder and the Magic, and honestly, despite it being the Orlando Magic who are kind of banged up right now, the Thunder needed this win just to like lash out their anger and stuff like that. But anyway, looking at the box score for the Oklahoma City Thunder, SGA bounced back. He had 35 points. Jalen Williams had 11 points. Isaiah Hartenstein had 12 points. And their bench was led by Alex Caruso and Aaron Williams, each scoring 11. Peeking at the Orlando Magic, I mean, this was a slugfest. I mean, Goga Bazadia had 15 points. Tristan Del Silvia had 15 points. Wendell Carter Jr. had 10 points. KCP had 11 points. And their bench was led by Mo Wagner with 10. But the real story was Anthony Black. He had 23 points off the bench. Moving on to the next game, we got I think America's game of the week. I know I say that it's redundant, it's annoying, but like this truly was America's game of the week. The Knicks and the Timberwolves, Cats' first game back in Minnesota, like this was a good America's game of the week. If you're a Knicks fan. Because if you're not, well, you got hoed in this game, as I like to refer to it. You got absolutely hoed in this game. It's not even close. But anyway, peeking at the New York Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns had 32 points. He also had 20 rebounds, which is a lot. Mikal Bridges had 29 points. Jalen Brunson kind of had a quiet night. He had 14 points. And Precious Achiuwa had 13 points. And their bench was led by Deuce McBride with 16 points. Peeking at the Timberwolves, I mean, this is an example of a you got hoed kind of game. Julius Randle had 24 points. Anthony Edwards had 17 points. And their bench was led by Dante DiVincenzo with 15 points, Nickeil Alexander-Walker with 12 points, and Josh Minot with 11 points. Anyway, peeking at the next game, we got the Bucks and the Cavs, and honestly, this is like I have a feeling that the Cavs won the season series, or I could be wrong here. Anyway, next game, like I just said, the Bucks and the Cavs was the next game of the list. And this, why is my screen not loading? Okay. Yeah, here we go. Bucks and the Cavs. And honestly, this game was nuts. I mean, look at this, man. Well, peeking at the Bucks, I mean, what can you say about this game? Giannis had 33 points and 14 rebounds. Brook Lopez had 10 points. Their bench was led by Chris Middleton with 14 points. Oh, they have one more game. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, as for the Cavs, I mean, what can you say? Like Donovan Mitchell had 27 points. Darius Garland had 16 points. Dean Wade had 15 points. Evan Mobley had 15 points. Jared Allen had a double-double with 10 points and 10 rebounds. And their bench was led by Ty Jerome with 13 points. Good stuff. Man, I feel like this is going to be a season sweep, which I don't think I've ever seen between these two ball clubs. Granted, I don't watch a ton of these games. But anyway, peeking at the final game, we got the Clippers, we got the Knicks and the Pelicans. And I gotta say this, like, and people may disagree on this, but to me, the Pelicans have been the most disappointing team in the league right now. Like, period. Uh, like I thought, and people know this, I thought this team was a legitimate dark horse to win the West if healthy. Apparently, that's not the case. But anyway, peeking at the box score because we gotta see it. Jalen Brunson had 39 points. Mikal Bridges had 18 points. OG Anunoby had 16 points. Josh Hart had 14 points. And their bench, I mean, their bench didn't do it. Peeking at the Pelican side of things, I mean, what can you say? Trey Murphy had 26 points. DeJounte Murray had 14 points. And CJ McCollum had 13 points. And their bench, I mean, their bench was not it. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this week's primetime games? Let me know in the comment section below. So now we're going to get into our talking portion of the podcast and talk briefly about the Dennis Schroeder trade to the Golden State Warriors. Because obviously everyone's been talking about it for quite a while, and I personally haven't given my take on it. So the trade for okay, I just want to the trade for Dennis Schroeder. Let me pull up my phone here because I can't remember on top of my head. Let me see. Let me figure out this trade because. All right, so the trade is according to Shams, Dennis Schroeder for a 1 second round pick and wait no, and what to Dennis Schroeder and a second round pick from the Nets to the Warriors for DeAnthony Melton and 3 second round picks. My initial thoughts about this trade was I'm not surprised because I think Golden State needed this. They needed another scorer other than Steph. And yeah, it was a good trade. It's a good trade. Obviously, they got another score, like I said. But does this move the needle for Golden State? As much as I hate to say it, no, it doesn't. They need. I think what they're doing right now is they're getting ready to welcome Jimmy Butler. I think that's their plan. And I think Jimmy fits well with their timeline. Like, first of all, Jimmy doesn't have to carry the offense like he usually did when he was in Miami. No offense, Miami. And secondly, I think it works well. Like Jimmy, Steph. The only issue I have with the Jimmy to Golden State kind of trade, because there's obviously some twisted here and there. The only problem I have with that is the fact that what if Jimmy and Draymond clash heads? Because that's going to be a problem, because in the long haul, because we know that Jimmy has a big personality, but we also know Draymond has a big personality as well. So to me, it all depends if Jimmy and Draymond they can get along. All right, I know they played on Team USA. I believe they played on Team USA all those years back. But if they clash, I have a feeling that this might not work. But anyway, what are your guys' thoughts on the Dennis Schroeder trade to the Golden State Warriors? And do you think the Warriors should target Jimmy Butler? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, moving on to our next segment. We're going to be talking briefly about the Milwaukee Bucks winning the NBA in-season cup. and why for me, unlike people in the media say they're not a contender. Like obviously a lot of people have said that this like about the Milwaukee Bucks, how in like this cup will this I don't know how to say it like word for word, but like will help them like become a contender in the East. I think Brian Windhorst, who's an excellent NBA reporter, said something along the lines of like this showed them why they are a contender. And although I do agree with the media, like I tend to agree with some of the things the media has to say, they're not a contender. And I know Bucks fans, like people who like the Bucks as like a backup team, are gonna hate me for it. But let's be honest about the Milwaukee Bucks. Like they're right now in the East. If you ask me if I had to rank every single team in the East right now, they're probably in that second or third tier. You got Boston, Cleveland at the top. Then you got the Knicks, maybe the Magic, although the Magic have been strung by injuries lately. Then you got like Indiana, Milwaukee, Miami, Philly, Indiana. Like to me, this game showed me that they're gonna fight. All right. This team is capable of fighting. They're gonna push you to the brink, but they're not a contender. All right. Because as I watched every single team that won a championship, whether it's the Celtics last year, the Nuggets, what was it? Nuggets 2 years ago. The Warriors 3 years ago. Um, the Bucks, the Bucks like 4 years ago. I know it's crazy. The Lakers. What do they all have in common? They all have a shutdown defender. And I know Bucks fans like Keem, Keem, Keem. Giannis is a shutdown defender. He is, but the Bucks need a guy to defend the best player while letting Giannis and Dame go on. All right. Obviously, Chris Middleton was the guy, but let's be honest about Chris. Chris is hasn't been fully healthy. I understand he's been playing well. All right. I understand that he's coming off two like surgeries, I think on his knee and ankle. I can't remember. But I don't know. Like maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe they can make a run, but right now, this team, if I had to put them in my like playoff tiers, this team is a playoff contender, meaning they could win a series or two, but it all depends. Like the Bucks remind me a little bit like, and I'll explain what that means. Golden State, they're in that Golden State, Phoenix, the Lakers, Lakers, and maybe I'm not entirely sure the Sixers tier in this aspect. It depends if they're gonna be in a play if they're gonna make the playoffs, which I think all of them are gonna make the playoffs. But if they do, it all depends on the matchup. All right. Like like if they get a bad matchup, they're gonna get screwed. If they get like a matchup that they are favorable, I think they could like win or maybe like hang around. Like the Lakers, for example, last year. Like they didn't want to play the Nuggets in the first round. They wanted to play OKC because OKC's weakness was size. They don't have enough size on their team, whereas the Lakers, we know they have size. If they match up with the Nuggets, they're going to get help. All right. So that's my thoughts of the Milwaukee Bucks. What are your guys' thoughts? Am I being too harsh on the Bucks, or am I just hating? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, so moving on to our next segment. Let me pull up my phone here because I have my agenda on my phone as well. Let me see. We're gonna be giving out Christmas gifts for every NBA team this season because maybe you guys know Christmas is like 2 days away. So yeah, let me. Why is my? Oh, here we go. All right. So anyway, let's do this. Anyway, peeking at. Let me pull up. Let me pull up my tier list. All right. I'm probably gonna go this rapid fire just because like I have a lot of things to do later today. So if I say the same thing with some of your favorite teams or like other teams, just is what it is. All right, so here's the tier list. We have what every team wants for Christmas according to Santa Keegan. I know that name sounds cringy, but it is what it is. Anyway, Starting off with the Milwaukee Bucks, what do they want for Christmas? Like I said, they need a shutdown defender on their team in order for them to play well. Obviously, like they have Damon Giannis who can go off for 70 combined points at any given night, but they still need defensive help. Next up, we got the New York Knicks. Honestly, I don't think they need a ton of like things, but I do think they need a backup. Do think they need a defensive center when you have to go up against guys like Kristaps Porzingis, Evan Mobley, Joel Embiid, Giannis. Like I think they need a defensive big. Next up, we got the Raptors, a top three draft pick at best. All right, a lot of people are saying that this year's upcoming draft is going to be generational. They need a top three draft pick. Next up, we got the Jazz, another top three draft pick. All right. This Jazz team is still young. They're still feisty. They need a top three draft pick. Up next, we got the Rockets. I don't maybe I don't know, man. Like maybe a veteran. Like I understand they do have solid veterans on their team, but like a veteran like, who's made the playoffs consistently to help this team. Because this Rockets team, despite them playing really well, I just don't see them as a true contender. Next up, we got the Pelicans. What the Pelicans should want for Christmas? Probably more draft picks or like just blow it up in general. Like, because like this, there's nothing I can say about this team. Like this team has been disappointing. Up next, we got the Lakers. Like the Bucks, they need a defensive center. Like I think last time I checked, the Lakers have one of the worst defense, or one of the most, or the least ranked defensive team statistically. Let me double check that. Let me see. Yeah, they're 20th in the league. They need a defensive center. Up next, we got the Bulls. A full-on rebuilds. Get rid of Zach LaVine, get rid of Lonzo, try to obtain some draft picks, a full-on rebuild. Up next, we got the Timberwolves. Honestly, I don't know what to get the Timberwolves for Christmas, maybe. I just think maybe they need like maybe I don't know, maybe a second score, maybe. I don't know. Moving on, we got the Blazers on a top three draft pick as well. All right. All right. Probably get rid of Aiton somehow. Get rid of Jeremy Grant. Like, just start get younger, get even more young. Next up, we got the Nuggets, a second score. All right. Let me give you Jamal Murray's stats this year. And this is not a diss on Jamal. Jamal is starting to become like the guard version of Anthony Davis in the aspect of he's not consistent. Let me pull up where are the Nuggets right now. Yeesh. Node. All right. Jamal Murray is averaging 19 points for 19 points a game. The last time, all right, last year he was averaging 21 points a game. Do you know when the last time Jamal Murray ever averaged under 20 points a game? Granted, he's been like unhealthy these past few years. Was the 2019-20 season when he had 18 and a half points per game. He's also not shooting the ball well. Like, look at this. He's shooting 30, what is it? 34, 35% from three. They need a second score. All right. Next up, we got the Thunder. Honestly, I just think they need another veteran in that mix because this team is still relatively young. You know what I'm saying? Up next, we got the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets. Probably, oh, geez. Probably like more draft picks. I know that sounds kind of weird, but more draft. Up next, we got the Grizzlies. Honestly, they don't need anything other than health. Like that's the only thing that's bothering them. Like they need to be healthy, but you know, I don't know. Up next, we got the Mavericks. Mavs. Good question. Honestly, I would give the Mavericks sure a 3-and-D wing. Because as great as this team is, like they need a guy. They need a guy that could be a 3-and-D wing. I obviously they have that with certain players on their roster, but they need a 3-and-D wing. Next up, we got the Spurs. Honestly, I don't even know what to make of the Spurs, to be honest with you. Maybe like another top 10 draft pick, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Next up, we got the Suns. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, God. Phoenix, what do I give this team? I would give the Suns a defensive center. Like, and I love this man to death. Nurk is not that guy. He is not that guy. Nurk is awful. Next up, we got the Clippers. Somehow, some way, get some draft picks, maybe a young star, maybe. I would say that. Next up, we got the Warriors. Jimmy Butler. Next up, we got the Pistons. Right now, I think the Pistons should get a top three draft pick as well. I know they've been playing really well lately, but if you want to talk about a team that's been hoed the most in terms of the top again a top three draft pick, it's them, and it's not even close. Next up, we got the Kings. The Kings. Honestly, that's a good question. I would say the Kings need to get some defensive players. Like as great as they are offensively, their defense needs to kind of step up. Next up, we got the Cavs. Cavs, I don't think they need a ton of things for the Cavs because they've been playing really well. But maybe like I don't know, health. Up next, we got the Celtics. Nothing. They have the depth. Their starting lineup is healthy. There's nothing, and they're also the defending champs. They don't need it. Next up, we got the Sixers, a health pill. All right. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George, all fully healthy. Like, what can you say? Next up, we got the Hornets, top three draft pick. Wizards, top three draft pick. The Magic, I'm gonna say Orlando, another a health pill, just because they were so banged up right now. I mean, I think Franz Wagner's out. Mo Wagner's done for the year. Paulo is. I don't think Paulo hasn't played at all in a while. I could be wrong there, but yeah. The Miami Heat. Um, Maybe another another superstar. Maybe I don't know. Hawks. Hawks. Probably more draft picks. Maybe. You know, that's all I gotta say. And then finally, the Pacers, defensive players. Defensive players. That's what I would give them. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the list? I know it was kind of bland. I don't have the energy for it. It's just I am like I'm running out of ideas. All right, so our next segment on the Ki-Hoon Lee show is we are now going to get into our picks for this week, right? Yep, we're going to get into our Week 10 NBA picks. All right, so this is going to be rapid fire, so bear with me. All right, so let's do this thing. We got Spurs and the Knicks. I'm going to take the Spurs and the Sixers, excuse me. I'm going to take the Spurs in this one. I'm going to take the Spurs. Okay, why aren't you loading? Yeah, Spurs. Pacers, Warriors, Warriors. Spurs, Knicks. I'm gonna take the Knicks. Timberwolves, Mavs. I'm gonna take the T-Wolves. Sixers, Celtics, Celtics. Oh shit, did I forget? Oh, dang it. Sorry, I forgot one more matchup. Let me. Lakers, Lakers versus Warriors. I'm gonna take the Warriors. Nuggets, Suns. Assuming Book plays, I'm gonna take the Suns. Thunder, Pacers. I'll take the Thunder. Jazz, Blazers. I'm gonna go with the Blazers. Pacers, Celtics. I know I spelled Celtics wrong, but I don't care. I'm gonna take the Celtics in this one. Warriors, Clippers. I'm gonna take the Warriors in this one. Heat, Hawks. I'll take the Miami Heat. Thunder, Hornets. That's gonna be a fun game to watch, but I'm gonna take the Thunder. And then Warriors, Suns. I'm gonna take the Suns to win this one. All right, what are you guys' thoughts on the primetime picks? I know they were rapid fire, but you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, now for our final segment, we're gonna get into our courtside hierarchy rankings for week number 10. All right, we do this every week. So here we go. All right. Coming in at number 10, I am gonna take, and I know this sounds crazy, I'm gonna take the Phoenix Suns, man. I know they've been kind of lately, but like I truly think, but the way KD's been playing, that like they're still a top 10 team. Number 9, I'm going with the Dallas. I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks. They've been balling out, especially without Luka, which is crazy. But I'm going to take them at the number 9 spot. Number 8, I'm going to go with the Lakers, man. Like they've been balling out right now. They've been playing extremely well lately. Anthony Davis is playing well. Bron's playing at an okay standard. Give me the Lakers at number 8. Number 7, our first East team, the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks. I think they've been playing really well lately. They've been kind of but like they've been playing rock solid so far. Give me the Bucks at number 7. Number 6, I'm gonna go to the Orlando Magic. They've been balling out right now. Like this team right now is like playing some rock solid basketball despite having a ton of injuries. I'm gonna take them at the number 6 spot. Number 5, I'm gonna go with the Houston Rockets. Been playing really well lately. They've been playing rock solid. I'm gonna take them at number 5. Number 4, I am going to take the Grizzlies at number 4 on this list. They've been playing rocks. They've been playing amazing lately. I think they're a top 4 team in the league. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Celtics. I'm gonna go with the Thunder, man. They've been playing rock solid. They've been playing solid basketball. I wish they could get more healthy, but it is what it is. Number 2, I'm gonna take the Boston Celtics, man. Like still the defending champs. They've been playing really well. I gotta give them a number 2, and then number 1. I think this is obvious: the Cleveland Cavaliers, like best team all year, record wise, best a top 10 offense, top 10 defense, and that should do it. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this week's courtside hierarchy rankings? Let me know in the comments section below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of long and stuff like that. I apologize, but I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. On behalf of myself and my family, we want to wish you guys a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Stay safe, stay warm, and until next time, I'm out. Peace.